evening at 8 p.m. every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Bye-bye.
News from the street, 919fm.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. It's time for your news at noon on the street, 919 FM, online, Facebook, and YouTube, courtesy The Sea Champion. In the headlines, Prime Minister says small countries get back burner treatment in the supply of COVID-19 vaccine. Fire officers escape serious injury after an accident responding to a fire in Five Rivers. And in news overseas, the wife of jailed Mexican drug lord arrested on drug trafficking suspicion. With the details, I am Jason Shields. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Minister of Health Terence Dialsing said the government is trying to maneuver around the inequity being faced in the open market regarding the COVID-19 vaccine. The Prime Minister believes that small countries around the world are being overlooked as they attempt to acquire vaccine supplies. He said despite promises of otherwise, smaller populations have had difficulty accessing what is due to them. Back in October, Trinidad and Tobago joined the COVAX facility at a total cost of $9.7 million. In December, Dr. Rowley announced that an initial payment of $1.47 million had been made, which could cover 461,000 people. However, he said since then, communication has been very uncertain between smaller countries and the leaders of COVAX. He added that what Trinidad and Tobago is experiencing at the level of the leadership of countries is that if you were a smaller purchaser, you were not even listened to or entertained by suppliers who were out there under the control of bigger, more powerful countries. Dr. Rowley hoped that since Africa is a continent, is having better luck with accessing vaccines, they will be able to help the region secure part of its supply. 6 fire officers escaped with minor injuries in the wee hours of this morning after their appliance were responding to a fire call got into an accident in Tacarigua. The appliance and the crew of the Tunapuna Fire Station responded to a house fire call in Five Rivers in Aruca at 2:45 a.m. However, upon reaching the St. Mary's Children's Home on the Eastern Main Road in Tacarigua, one of the back tires of the left side of the vehicle failed, which caused the back of the vehicle to slide into the westbound lane. The driver of the vehicle was said to have lost control of the vehicle when it ran through a wall of a nearby church. The officers sought medical assistance after the incident. President of the Fire Service Association 2, Leo Ramkisoon, spoke to the street news team after he visited the Tunapuna station. He reiterated the call to the authorities within the fire service as well as the government for a need for proper care and maintenance of vehicles and equipment within the service. And regarding the house fire call, San Juan firefighters eventually responded at light pole number 61 Spring Drive in Five Rivers, Aruca, where a single-story dwelling house owned by Darrell Nichols was completely destroyed before the arrival of the appliance. Mr. Nichols said he was asleep when the fire started, but escaped without injury and reported the incident to the Aruca police. He said that there was no electricity to the premises, but he did have the use of a generator which was inactive at the time of the fire. The cause of the fire has not yet been determined by the investigators. Finally, in news overseas, the wife of jailed Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman has been arrested in the United States on suspicion of drug trafficking. The 31-year-old Emma Coronel Aspuro was detained at the Dulles International Airport outside of Washington, D.C.
Join Bishop Aaron and the Divine Problem-Solving
charged with the participating in conspiracy to distribute cocaine, methamphetamines, heroin, and marijuana. Her 63-year-old husband, who was the head of one of the biggest cartels in Mexico, is currently serving a life sentence in New York for drug trafficking and money laundering. Ms. Aspirio is due to appear in federal court in Washington, D.C. via video conference. And that was a look at your 12 noon news on the street, 919 FM, online, Facebook, and YouTube, courtesy The Sea Champion. Recapping the headlines. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says smaller countries get back burner treatment in the supply of COVID-19 vaccine. Fire officers escape serious injury after incident responding to a fire call in 5 Rivers. And in news overseas, wife of jailed Mexican drug lord arrested on drug trafficking suspicion. Stay tuned for more news on the street, 919 FM. Our next major newscast comes up at 4 p.m., but we do have news briefs at 2 p.m. and the Street Sport Report coming up at 1 p.m. I am Jason Shields. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
News from the street. News from the street. 919fm.com.
Join Bishop Aaron and the Divine Problem-Solving International Ministries together with ministers and choirs from Ghana, the Republic of the Congo, the Republic of Uganda, the United States, London, and from right here in Trinidad and Tobago on February 27th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. here on the street 919 FM. For a closer look at spiritual principles of the Acts of the Apostles and a renaissance of your own faith in Jesus Christ. Bishop Aaron and the Divine Problem-Solving International Ministries on February 27th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. here on the street 919 FM.
All right, so we're getting ready to go over to Bishop Aaron, who we're getting on the line right now. So don't touch your dial. Stick and stay Trinidad and Tobago as we get Bishop Aaron on the phone and to minister to you at this time. So don't touch your dial, stick and stay right here on the street 919 FM. All right, so I believe I have Bishop Aaron on the line. Good afternoon, Bishop Aaron.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bishop Program.
All right, so you are live. I'm putting you on.
Hallelujah. Father, we want to give you praises and thanks today for your